What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That's Sowdev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're returning, welcome. It's all love here. We appreciate everybody and we welcome everybody. Now, y'all know we got some tea to get into, right? But before we get into this tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That's Sowdev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, child, including YouTube. And if you're streaming over there, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Okay. Now, let's get into our tea, because first of all, we have about 14 days until Dopamine comes by Normani. It is Normani's debut album. Yeah. Her first album ever. Her first project ever. And no one knows it's coming. So there's that, bitch. I'm very tired. I'm very, very, very tired on this glorious day today. The sun is shining and, the weather is just absolutely beautiful. But here I am, seeing the rollout of Dopamine day to day, and I'm just realizing how shitty it is. It's shitty. It's lackadaisical. It's one of the worst debut album rollouts that I have seen. I'm not understanding the whole process of this rollout. Now let's take it back, right? So we start off with Normani announcing her album earlier on in the year, right? Months before her album was even coming out. Didn't even have a date for when the album was coming. Just said, album's coming. You guys don't know when, but it's coming, several months before the album was even going to come out. And, it teases a song with it. I'm like, oh, cute. Okay. So, this song is probably going to come, we're thinking that this is really opening the world to this rollout. And it's actually opening a world to a whole ass void. Yeah, the whole world is a void, essentially. And, I'm just sitting back and watching things happen with this 159 song, a week after the announcement, nothing. 2 weeks after the announcement, nothing. 3 weeks after the announcement. Waits a whole month later after telling us about the album and teasing a song. Tells you a month later that the song is coming out in a month. Announce your debut album. A month later, announce the song that you teased with your debut album later, and you announce that the song is coming a month later. And then when the song comes out about 2 weeks later, it's going to hit radio. So essentially, why call it a single? We need to get in the habit of stop calling stuff singles. Because if it's not really a single, then we need to specify what it is. We've now garnered labels, lead single, promo single, you know what I mean? This is a track, you know what I mean? Like, we have different labels for things now, and we're going to have to start utilizing them, because not everything is a single, and nothing has always been said to be a single. It's just like when artists have several concerts in a row, it doesn't necessarily have to be a tour. Back in the day, I don't know if people remember this, but people just used to have concerts for no reason. Like, I'm in Alabama having a concert today. There's no other concerts attached to this bitch, but I'm just having a concert today. Like, bitches just used to do that. So, just like people can just release songs and they not be a single. Not something serious that's aiming to be the most popular song in America or something like that. So, I don't know, girl. Anyhow, months in between announcements, coming from a person that already hasn't established her presence. She's always missing. She's always gone. The hype that she gets in the moment is always thrown away. Because it's very obvious that Normani knows she's going to win one way or another. Right? Which is totally fine. She is. She's going to win. She's talented. Blah, 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 blah. But we all know that the most talented and the most protected by God are not the people who always win in the way that Normani wants to win. Normani wants to be one of the greats. She talks about these artists that she wants to essentially become. And I'm just not seeing her move or have the backing to work towards that. And it's not saying that she's not behind the scenes perfecting her craft, blah, 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 because look at Victoria Monet, right? A completely different path. Like, every artist has a completely different path that they have to go down, right? But Normani is in a very unique position right now. And she's in a very unique position to really do something that's going to shift so much, and she already has. But she's kind of not moving like it. She's kind of moving as if she's been established for a while already, and that people are just going to know that things are coming out. And I think that that really does fall on the people who are behind her. And I feel like that they're setting her up. Honestly, they're setting the album up to not sell. And this could be something in her mind where she's just like, I don't really care about the sales. I don't really care about the chart. I don't really care about blah, 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 blah. But what I do know is that you are signed to a label that will shelve you. Had no problems doing it with Tinashe or several other people. They're just simply not working artists. They're not. They're keeping them on the shelf to collect dust. And I don't know if this is RCA, keeping her album all the way back until this very moment. I don't know. I have a feeling that RCA has played a part in it, while also Normani herself has played a part in it for whatever reason that may be as well. Life experience, blah, 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 blah. T. It's just really interesting to me at this point that, again, since 2018, we've been essentially hearing Normani speaking on working on her debut album. So about 6 years. And here it is. The first song to her debut album, 159, is dropping. Where is Normani? Silent. Until the song comes out and then she posts the picture or whatever. Like, okay. Awesome. And I'm like, so we're not going to acknowledge the song? We're just gonna, okay, whatever. I'm like, this is giving promo track, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they wanted to introduce you into this world, and then, that's just what I'm thinking. They're introducing us into the world, because what else do I have to think? Why else would this girl who has been working on this album for 6 years and saying soon for literally the entire time and just seemingly so excited and can't wait, why is she so silent about the first track to her album dropping? Whatever, right? Move on, because at this point, Nation has already done a blackout with her old team. They didn't listen. This team currently doesn't listen to Nation. So at this point, what other choice do we have than to believe that we're fucking cash grabs? Like, you only will pay attention to us when it's time for you to make some fucking money. That's just what it's giving to me. That's what it's giving to me. And I know I'm not the only person who feels like that. There are several artists who invest in their fans, and she doesn't invest in her fans. She doesn't invest in her supporters. And that is going to be the backbone of your career. When you don't let people know that you're dropping a song, an album, a video, whatever, in those moments, we are the ones who buy them. We support, despite the BS. So if you don't invest in that foundation, what will you have going forward? It's always going to be a hit or miss. It's always going to be, well, I can possibly sell a single because there's a lot more I can put behind it than an album. You're going to have to sell a single here, here, here to sell that album. So here we are, 159, not acknowledged, it's out, whatever. It's honing into the streets. The streets aren't going to buy. The streets are going to tell you to release another song. Now they're not going to buy the song, but they will stream it a couple times and then maybe move on with their life, right? That's why you don't really listen to the streets. Baby, we are not the streets, okay? So again, I found that so interesting to not say anything, to not invest in your supporters, because who the hell was just gonna go sit up and buy that? I mean, sure, the song got almost 1 million streams on day one. Like I said, bitches gonna stream and then move on about their day. Nobody knew that song came out. Were they testing the waters? Was that a test? I questioned that a bit myself. I don't know. But here we are again. Candy Paint's gonna drop tonight, supposedly. Candy Paint is dropping tonight, supposedly. And the only reason why we knew that is because it dropped somewhere else in the world first, and they let everybody know, and it just kept dropping as it reaches midnight elsewhere in these other places for them to stream the full song. So you didn't even tell people that Candy Paint was dropping. You're just gonna drop Candy Paint and think that people just gonna, oh, blah, 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 blah. This is the song that you sat up on a live and teasing like, drop Candy Paint now. I know y'all remember that live. She was like, yeah, that's it. Like, you know the song's it. Everybody knows the song is it, but you're not letting people know that the song is out. That's just like dropping an album and then trying to sell a single after the album is already out. Come on now. The song leaked 3 years ago. The song leaked 3 years ago, and you're not dropping it with the video. Interesting to me. That's very interesting. Why would you do that? Why on earth would you? Why the fuck would you do that? I'm trying to understand, and I've talked to several people who worked with artists in the industry and, work with promotion and PR and all that stuff and all kinds of things that surround an artist and their promotion and labels. There are a lot of people that I actually speak to who really speak to me about these things and why they may happen and everything surrounding it. Not even them understand what the fuck is happening. I have people who are managers and teams themselves like, yeah, her team is incompetent. Even the new one. They told me that the old team was competent when she first signed. That's why I was already wary to begin with. I knew how that was going to end. I was already told about this by people who are in the industry. But her team now, it's not that they're not nice people, but I'm just finding it difficult to believe that a lot of these people can carry the power to manage somebody like Normani. Normani needs somebody heavy. And I hate to even bring this name up, but somebody who can move with power in a sense like Scooter Braun. She needs somebody who can really take control of that career and drive it in a direction, because the people that she has now is just not working out. Maybe it is. It could feel good enough to her. It could feel clean behind the scenes. She has a team that she trusts. That's blah, 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 blah. And that really could be it for her. That could be all she cares about, because this is an evil industry and who you have behind you really does matter. That does matter. So that also has to be taken into account here. At the same time, it's just like, wow, like, okay, so what are we doing? Your debut album's coming, and we have no idea what the fuck is going on. Fans who have been dedicated for, the last 6 years of this album, but also even more 6+ years with Fifth Harmony, watching you hone in and, begin to perfect your craft in any which way that you could while you were in Fifth Harmony, but we had still been around for it. Since before Fifth Harmony formed, I was watching Normani on X Factor. I've been on her journey this entire time. So this is very frustrating. I am a person that is buying without even thinking twice. I am the person that you ain't maybe eating a bitch or two up, but I'm still gonna buy. I am. I'm a fan. I'm a true fan. I'm not a fake bitch that's gonna get on Twitter or whatever and say whatever the fuck that's coming out of my mouth and just have no true core of love for this woman, because I do. In every which way. I have an extreme amount of love for this woman, and I always will for the rest of my life. I will be a fan for the rest of my life. But the exhaustion of being a stan of Normani the last couple of years have driven me so far away from coming back to that point. I personally cannot do it for another round. Maybe when that second album pop in, I don't fucking know. But I will not subject myself to it again, because what's gonna happen? Are we going to, No, I'm just trying to garden and understand what the fuck is going on. Like, do you plan to drop this album and disappear after? Are you going to sell any singles? Is the album just going to sell itself? Like, are you going to do last minute promotions? Like, a lot of people are like, it's the record label. It's the man. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, because it's the same bullshit y'all have been saying literally the entire last 6 years. No. Like, oh, well, she's doing... Like, no. There needs to be some sort of creativity going on here. Doing your first dose of dopamine. Like, this is a prime example. That first little dose that had candy paint and 159 T's in the video and whatnot. You see how that got everybody up, and then all of a sudden it was just gone and everybody moved the fuck on? Because that's the same shit that goes on. That's all that they do. That's all that they've ever done. It's really given, Waves is coming out tomorrow. Like, it's the same shit consistently going on throughout her career, whether it is S10 or who she's with now, whether it is S10 in the forefront, co-signed by RCA, or solely RCA. We've had several scenarios and none of this shit has changed. So who am I to believe when this album comes out, they're actually going to do work to sell it? I'm getting this idea that just get this shit out. That's what it's giving. Just get this shit out. Just get it out. Get it out. That is what it's giving. And if that's the energy, fine. Fine. But it's also kind of giving like we're purposefully ignoring this to build some sort of energy. And that's not happening. It's not helping you build any more energy. The only energy it's building is negative. Sorry. The fans been through nope. You will not gaslight nobody in Normani's fandom. There are people who are delusional who will make excuses for a lot of the BS. There will be. This probably bitch is probably typing right now being delusional. Fans are valid in their feelings. Fans are so valid in the way that they feel after all of this BS. They are the people who buy. And for people to act like that fans aren't the ones that keep these artists, well, employed. Let's not act like that, because if this album doesn't sell, Normani's going to have to go to another a label. RCA's not going to invest. Or is it that RCA's like, okay, we're not going to invest in this album. We'll invest in the next one. Like, do you have some sort of deal or some shit? Like, I gotta fucking know why we moving like this. The silence is not cute. The silence doesn't make you look like some unbothered superstar that's just waiting for the song to come out and everybody to just jump on it and talk about it, and you're just gonna pop up on trending. Literally, had people tweeting down, what are y'all talking about? She's done so much trending, posting the album cover, the links, interview. Shut the fuck up. The damn interview that has spread over a fucking month. Links to what? Where's the damn album.com? Posting the album. Oh my god, you bitches are so comfortable with crumbs. Like, them crumbs is tasting like some fucking chicken souffle with you bitches. Like, come on! I need you to get up. Get up! Get up now, ho! Because y'all all up in that motherfucking floor getting all them goddamn crumbs out. Let them ants handle that shit. No, but like, it's blowing my mind that people are even kind of like, oh, well, you know, it is what it is. I mean, it's true, though. It truly is what it is, because what the fuck are we going to do? Sit here and bitch? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, clearly that's what the fuck people are doing. But, you know, I hope that, you know, it's not one of those situations where Normani and people around her are kind of like, oh, ignore everything that's being said. We're just going to do what it's do. People are going to be mad and blah, 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 but they're going to stream it anyway. Please do not do that, because people don't understand. And if you are an artist that digs yourself into a hole, you are going to have so much trouble getting out of that hole. And for somebody who wants to be one of the greats that she has listed, if you go into that hole, you're going to have to work 50 times harder. And you are a black woman who already has to work 50 times harder. So now you got to work 150 times harder just to get back in the position where you probably were 6 years ago. Well, if you think that Candy Paint's going to chart on the Hot 100 without a video, you've lost your mind. Again, we're talking about a leaked song that you're just releasing. You could have done your edits and blah, 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 and that leak wouldn't have made a difference. There's been plenty of time to adjust the song to where that wouldn't matter. And the whole song in itself has not leaked. There's bits and pieces of the song that has been leaked. So, I don't know. We're going to see what it's definitely giving. I'm not necessarily sure that I'm going to do a reaction to it. I literally just found out about it maybe an hour or two ago. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to fucking say. I don't know what else to say. This album is dropping in 2 weeks. They're silent. They're not doing anything. Like, if my album was dropping in 2 weeks, there's not a single person that I would not be letting know. Everybody would know that my debut album is dropping in 2 weeks, in a month, in 2 months. Like, I wouldn't shut up about it. So, this is so interesting to me. The fact that she's doing nothing is so interesting to me. But although I know she cares, if somebody asks does she care, she'll kind of get annoyed about it. The fuck else are we supposed to think? It's not even the fact that you have to overexert yourself and overexpose yourself like it's Fifth Harmony, but y'all are literally doing the bare minimum. The bare minimum is to just keep a presence on social media, at least during your album era. My God, like, in this whole Normani Nations page that they took no time to build before the album. I have been saying to do a page like that for years, so she can invest in her fans, especially before she drops an album. But no, randomly just start this Normani Nation page and, you know, have people uncover that, you know, there are people in your camp running behind this fan page because you all didn't set it up professionally, and it's not giving this era. This era is not giving. And, you know, the crazy thing about it is all that matters to me is the quality in the work, because there's quality in the music, there's quality in the visuals, like, you know, there's quality in the art of it all, and that is all that matters. But we can't sit here and act like Normani is not trying to get to the very tippy top. That is her goal. That is what she wants to do. She discussed the Janets and the Bees and all that. How the hell do y'all think she's going to get there if they're sitting there acting like she don't even have music coming out today? She has music that has been coming out all throughout the day, all over the globe, and she hasn't said a word. What's the point of your fan page? Your fan page posts just as much as you. And nobody pays that fan page any mind because it feels half-assed and unprofessional. It's not one of those things where it's like, no matter what I do, y'all are going to complain anyway. It's definitely not one of those moments, because this is definitely something that we have been advocating for several years. So, and I'm sure she didn't just get the management whenever she announced the album. So you had plenty of time to even do months before to roll out that account. There was a better way to roll out that account. But the lack of professionalism has led to it being viral, with people thinking that you're behind your fan account. And going viral isn't promotion. It isn't making people go follow the account. It's just like staying silent when a release comes, thinking that people are going to talk about it, she's going to end up trending, because when she does nothing, she trends. But like, when she does nothing and she trends, it's not during an album era or something like that. So it seems like a calculated plan that's just falling flat. They have no choice but to stick with it now. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And Nation is very exhausted. Do not be mistaken. Y'all already know I'm going to stream that album. I'm going to stream Candy Paint. I would like to do an album reaction. My plan is to have the album reaction out. The album's going to drop Thursday night. I want to have it out by Sunday, no later than Monday. I'm going to take my time editing it, and I don't know, y'all. I think it's time for... I stand a lot of people. I stand a lot of people that came before Normani. And all of those people are very active. I mean, you know, I just think about Miley Cyrus and her being on her endless summer vacation and not doing performances and not popping out, not doing anything, and how she's just worked all of her life to get to this point to where she can enjoy her endless summer vacation, and her art and her music still thrives and speaks for itself because she's done all of this investing all of her life. This is her time now, you know? And with Normani, it seems like she's taken that same approach, but there has been no investment at any point in time. It has just been, you know, very successful singles here and there, along with, you know, promo singles in between, and, you know, disappearing for a year and then another year and a half. And what was there for anybody to really invest in? I mean, your fans have literally gathered all of your leaked songs and made their own albums. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's coming. I wish for the best. I hope for the best. My expectations are on the floor. They're in hell even. Blow it, actually. I don't have high hopes for anything else other than the quality of the work. I think it's going to be fantastic. But the rest of it, I don't know. I'm not going to repeat myself in the rest of this podcast. I've already discussed enough of it. I'm going to start to wrap this podcast up now because, girl, I don't know where we're going to go from here. I don't know what their plan is. I love that they had the idea of 2 songs before the album. Both songs should have had videos. Period. I don't know. If they were going to drop Candy Paint, like, your only option at this point is everything's going to drop with the album video-wise, or you're going to drop Candy Paint this week and then drop the videos next week and then drop the album. For the love of fucking God, do not try to sell a single with the album. It doesn't work out. It never works out because people don't put enough into it. They don't. And I don't understand. Like, y'all have invested so much into Candy Paint. Why are you silent? This is the song and you're silent. It's laughable. It's laughable, bitch. Get up! Girl, look, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to do a discussion when the album drops, after I've listened to it. And we're going to discuss the album. And we're going to discuss how the execution of the rollout is being displayed. Because I'm curious to see what they're going to do after this album drops. Are they going to be silent? Are they going to do nothing? Are they just going to post pictures or like whatever? Are they planning on doing some live performances? I mean, come on. All that while... We haven't had a music video from Normani since 2021. We haven't had an award show performance since 2021. I don't think we've had a performance in general since 2021. Well, we had that Fair Life performance, but I like to act like the Fair era didn't even exist. Where the fuck that fan video at? Anyway, moving on. Girl, that's all I really have for today. You know, we have more discussions to get into, but that's going to come once the album drops in 2 weeks. And, you know, we will return to this conversation and, you know, catch up and see what we doing then. But I do appreciate you. Thank you for streaming the That's So Deaf podcast, where you stay true and stay you. You're iconic. And make sure you go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms at That's So Deaf on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everything else, especially YouTube, because we kind of popping over there. All right, y'all. I'm hopping off here. I have nothing but good wishes for this album and this whatever the fuck kind of rollout this is. But I'm wishing you such beautiful and fantastic energy. I'm wishing you some good food, some good health, some good sleep, and everything in between. Self-care is important. Prioritize it. If you don't, who the fuck will? Okay? Now, I will see you guys on the next podcast. Peace.